Origins of the Internet. The first recorded description of social interactions that could be enabled through networking was a series of memos written by J.C.R. Licklider of MIT in August 1962, discussing his galactic network concept. Licklider was the first head of the computer research program at DARPA, Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, starting in October 1962. While Licklider was at DARPA, he convinced his successors of the importance of his networking concepts. The first, however small, wide-area computer network was built by Lawrence G. Roberts and Leonard Kleinrock in 1965. The two computers were connected to each other through a low-speed dial-up telephone line. The conclusion of this experiment was the realization that the time-shared computers could work well together, running programs and retrieving data as necessary, but the circuit-switched telephone system was totally inadequate for the job. Beginning of interneting concepts. The internet was based on the idea that there would be multiple independent networks of rather arbitrary design, beginning with the ARPANET, the network that became the basis for the internet. Robert Elliott, also known as Kahn, developed 4 ground rules that were critical to Kahn's early thinking. Each distinct network would have to stand on its own, and no internal changes would require to any such network to connect it to the internet. Communications would be on a best effort basis. If a packet didn't make it to the final destination, it would shortly be retransmitted from the source. Black boxes would be used to connect to the networks. These would later be called gateways and routers. There would be no information retained by the gateways about the individual flows of packets passing through them, thereby keeping them simple and avoiding complication, adaptation, and recovery from various failure modes. There would be no global control at the operations level. Transition to widespread infrastructure. Practical dignity computer networks, and especially email, were observed by experts from other sectors and subject areas. By the mid-1970s, computer networks were on the rise. The Department of Energy initially established a network called MFE-NET for researching fusion with a magnetic containment. NASA built a network called SPAN for astrophysicists. The United States launched a network called CSNet, which incorporated information specialists from the academic industrial communities. Formation of the broad community. The Internet is as much as a collection of communities as a collection of technologies. The Internet's success is largely attributable to both satisfying basic community needs as well as utilizing the community in an effective way to push the infrastructure forward. The most pressing question for the future of the Internet is not how the technology will change, but how the process of change and evolution itself will be managed. During the early days of the Internet, scientists, scholars, and computer specialists primarily used the network. Widespread development of personal computers and workstations in the 1980s helped burgeoning Internet to grow. By the late 1980s, other communities were beginning to adopt Internet technology for day-to-day computer communications. Electronic mail was being used broadly across several communities, often with several different systems, but communication between different mail systems was demonstrating the utility of broad-based electronic communications between people.